Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from me, your host, Imperial Dane. Another day, another Propagandacast. Today, a 2 vs 2 on Duclair. Yes, indeed, we shall be returning to the fields of Duclair. My apologies. But of course, who shall be fighting on the field of battle today? Well, we're going to be seeing a Whermachter who's playing as the Americans. That's not contradictory at all. And Rangothemaster, both fighting for the Americans, both fighting for the 20th Infantry Division, for glory, beer, and something else I'm not entirely sure what of. Opposing them shall be Symbiosis and HongKong, both of the Asi clan. Fighting for the Wehrmacht, fighting for the Panzer Lehr, the elite Panzer Lehr. And in fact, let's get right down to it. This is actually going to be a slightly longer game, so I'll of course try to speed things up a bit here and there. But a 2 vs 2, of course, we'll have to see how this one's going to work out. And there again, note, sort of a little helpful thing for most newcomers. Again, try to sort of place your buildings, at least the initial buildings, at the edge of your base. It serves numerous purposes. One of them, of course, is basically getting your troops fast out onto the field of battle, but secondarily, it also ensures that in case of artillery bombardment on your base, you actually have a point where you can reinforce, which is not right at the front, but at your headquarters, which tends to be the numero uno target of all artillery. Not entirely sure what they're going on about there. We see the same thing here with the Americans, although it looks like Whermachters have gone for the weapon support center start, of course intending to support his American comrade in arms with a heavy machine gun right from the bat and rifleman there. Humal stuff. I'm not getting much out of this, like Rome. I thought they were humans. Anyways, so far nice spread, both sort of sticking to the edges, although at the same time edging towards the center. First heavy machine gun ready, the water-cooled 30 caliber Browning. There was also the air-cooled, which was more of an LMG variant, basically. And rifle now heading towards the center under Rangothemaster. So far, so quiet, although I imagine we'll be seeing the first clashes very soon. Heavy machine gun out for Symbiosis, and a heavy machine gun out for HongKong. Apparently they're both going... I wonder if they'll be getting any infantry. Seems a bit disconcerting, and there we go. Bike though out for Symbiosis. Heavy machine gun team opening up on those pesky engineers. Lots of fire. Lots and lots. Shooting. Not really doing much damage though, but the bike joining in. Engineers getting pushed away. Line of engagement over here, although these pioneers are in what you would call a lot of trouble. Rifleman and a heavy machine gun, and in fact there's absolutely nothing here to stop them. The complete western flank right here is utterly open, and the MG can't even stop that either. That's going to be a bit of a problem. Second heavy machine gun moving in. And note, we are getting the discussion from there, so we can sort of figure out that, but they are sort of quickly, collaborating on what's going on here. Again, pointing out they've gone for a weapon support center and a barracks, and again, that sort of defines how they're supposed to work and what to expect. That's good teamwork. Besides, using your support units to support the other one's infantry. Not entirely sure what, there might have been some action in there, or they're perhaps setting up for a larger flank. 30. MG42 turning about constantly, and we are seeing a bit of a flank here. Moving up here pretty aggressively with a bike to lead the way, both cases, but there we go. 30 caliber opening up here, traps getting supported, riflemen sitting in for the flank. Engineers, pioneers, everybody's running. Oh dear, a brutal reversal of fortunes. With no infantry to really hold the flanks, or even just, hold the front. Things quickly go a bit wrong, but at least no losses for the MG42 team, but it is heavily wounded, and they're going to need a medic pack to get back on their feet. 30 caliber though advances. MG42 number 2 moving in, and there we go. HongKong joining in with some full screen, some actual, well, not Lehr infantry, I wouldn't really call full screen as that, but still they're doing as good a job as you can expect from full grenadiers. And looks like a sniper is out from Symbiosis. Ooh, he could be getting off, and at the same time, note, Wehrmachters have been pretty aggressive with his mining right on. Bikes going up in flames and smoke. A jeep. Oh, got one of them. That was a pretty huge setback for the Panzer Lehr. And the troops here are just getting utterly flanked. Utterly flanked. Not enough infantry, and of course not enough to support there. Utterly surrounded. Pioneers, Fultz gunners, MG gunners, everything else is on the run. They have managed to secure most of the map, but for how long? Oh, sniper gets spotted by the jeep. This is just getting worse and worse for the Wehrmacht. The Americans breaking through everywhere. MG42 though opening up. Other one though getting flanked by the Jeep. Oh no. And it doesn't have much health left. And an American sniper moving in from Whermachters. Oh dear, oh dear. MG gunner's getting sniped. Apparently he doesn't care about his opponent's sniper. Pretty bold, but of course there's also the psychological effect. And some of you might be wondering what psychological effect. Of course, where there's the fact now the other chap knows there's another sniper, so he's going to be a lot more cautious with his sniper. Which in that sense, if you're not really going to dwell on counter-sniping, can still do a lot. Unless, of course, he's some sort of person who doesn't care much about his snipers. Or did he actually get the sniper? No, wait, sniper's there. Sniper Koenig, all happy and dandy, I suppose, except he's gotten shot at. Are we seeing more mines from the Americans? No, I think we're seeing some from the Wehrmacht as well. Pretty damn good job there. Again, we like to see mines early on. Volkskrieger's moving up now from Symbiosis, so good. A bit of infantry, though again, they are lacking in infantry. Which is the sort of thing I'd usually recommend being a bit careful about. And having a look now at Rangothemaster. The Master Rango. One Jeep, which has already secured Veterans 1, which actually means it's pretty much fast. I mean, that probably held with that bike kill. And of course, the MG42 gunners. That's going to be a nasty little fiend. Weapon support center up. We might also be seeing something like that from Wehrmachters. But rather than, of course, we could see perhaps Rangothemaster perhaps going for grenades or BARs to increase his firepower. Of course, they're feeling that the rather support-heavy approach of the Wehrmacht might instead warrant that they sort of go swiftly both for something armored to deal with that in a much more aggressive fashion. And, of course, exploit it. They're not bad. Considering the damage they've done to you, I'd imagine not. Replacement bike, though, up for Hayato HongKong. Not bothering with further infantry. Again, I would recommend at least one more Volkskrieger unit, perhaps, or at least a medic bunker. Again, medic bunkers would be great, or a medic station from these chaps. Supplier up. What will happen? Upgrade. No, we are seeing a motor pool now on the way from Rangothemaster. Again, figuring heavy support unit, very little infantry. Let's charge in with some vehicles, exploit that in a most nasty manner. And the bike sort of patrolling about. 4 kills to its name, actually, quite nice. Fuel point being harassed. Good move there, although well, there's only a bike to stop it. Wait a minute. Grenadiers out for Hayato HongKong. He's gone straight for the Krieg barracks. And with Pioneers in support, the riflemen are suddenly finding themselves under a bit of fire, which of course means that Symbiosis is doing most of the frontline fighting. Chaps are getting suppressed. Keep opening up a bit, but they're getting hit by further MG fire. This is a pretty solid point, I suppose. 3 MGs pretty close to each other, although I think some of them are a bit overlapping too much. And again, a flank here could do a lot of damage, although we are seeing mines and tank traps, although not fully laid, so vehicles could sneak in through there. An attempt to sort of close down one of the gaps in the flank, and riflemen here taking quite a bit of damage. Pioneers, bikes, grenadiers, with a second wave of engineers following up. That's not going to end up well. 2 snipers up from Wehrmachters. Which can certainly put up a quite severe drain on the manpower of the Wehrmacht. More mines going down from everyone. Lots of mines, again, good to see, good to see. Going to make any advance quite difficult. Jeep, though, taking heavy damage, might be an idea to get it back. No point in losing that veteran team, particularly if it gets more, it can actually get a bit nasty. Oh, the engineers getting gunned down by the bike, grenadiers and pioneers. Looks like they will make it. Run, Hank, run! And airborne reconnaissance run. They're going to counter-snipe. Oh no, they got the MG gunner, but not the sniper. He was lucky, he was good. Well, probably just lucky, but still. Now, of course, we know that one of them has scored for airborne. And of course, we know he's got reconnaissance runs, and that's certainly going to make things a lot harder for Symbiosis in case he actually wants to stop their snipers. And looking at things, it's not Rangothemaster. He's got infantry, we can see from that. Instead, it's Whermachter who's gone airborne. And another reconnaissance run, and again the snipers miss. This is so far the luckiest sniper ever. Bike moving in, has to be careful. And of course, spots the other sniper, sends him running because... Oh dear, he got the rifleman. Not really the day of the snipers so far. Mines here, good, good. Keeping up the pressure on the flanks. What we like to see. Now the Jeep moving up. Oh, gets knocked out by a pack. Good move there by Hayato, who's also getting a mortar to bombard the support positions of Whermachters. Jolly good idea, jolly good idea. And again, since we're seeing lack of infantry, I suppose they can get away with it. Another recon run. Sniper this time just legs it. And he doesn't make it. Oh, the irony. But a tank depot up from Wehrmachters, if they get a Sherman, that could really prove to be a huge problem early on for the forces of the Panzer Lehr. Mortar rounds flying at the heavy machine gun team. Anti-tank guns on the way. They're really expecting some sort of armored rush. Troops hitting mines, getting suppressed. Mortar rounds flying. Heavy machine gun number 1 down. Oh dear. A bit too clumped up around this point. The rifle looks like they're moving on. Grenadiers moving in. Getting sniped. Attempting to flank. And there we go. Grenade on the heavy machine gun team. Instantly clearing it out. Plus knocking out the haystack. Haystack not being grenade proof, it seems like. Armored car out. We are seeing a Sturm Army. The Panzer Lehr providing now some heavier armored assets, it looks like. And a medic station up for Rangothemaster. This is good. Certainly shows a bit of Master's fullness. And we are seeing terror from Symbiosis. He's also going for the right hand side. He's got inspired assault. I doubt it's going to be because he's going to be launching any, because he barely has any infantry. He's probably going for the incendiary rockets, the Firestorm, and possibly V1s. So he's going to be providing a bit more of an artillery asset to his teammate, who does so far have a slight more infantry, and that he also has a grenadier team to assist his force grenadiers. So again, I would like some more infantry from either of those chaps. The medic bunker could help, and that might be what's on its way there. 2 armored cars now joining in, although there are 2 anti-tank guns. Ooh, engineers went down quite swiftly. Pierce, and we are seeing... Oh dear, that wasn't quite as fun. Hits a mine. And there we go, down, and we are seeing a Firestorm right there. Snipers forced away, but the armored car needs to retreat as well. And the anti-tank gets knocked out, so that's not bad. And it looks like Hayato HongKong is signaling that he's going for defensive. Jolly good. Again, coordination can help. And again, also sort of let you know what you can expect. Artillery now going in. Oh dear, on the support position. I think a bunker was trying to go up here. That didn't work. Pack crew dead. Medic bunker though is up. M10 moving in, but with no pack to stop it. Oh dear. Another armored car. He might need Sturmgeschütz instead. Where are those grenadiers with the Panzerschreck? They're up here again. Dealing with harassment. Rangothemaster, master of harassment. Now we're getting grenadiers. Some Symbiosis. Suggesting something with Knight's Cross and the Stuka zu Fuß. Which of course means he has to go tier 4 first, which means a lot of resources there. And perhaps not getting as many resources in veterancy right away. I mean, that's against the sort of thing you have to sort of calculate as the Wehrmacht. Do I want to get the bigger things, the more armor things, or do I want to ensure that what I have is tougher? Or just like, for example, the MG and the mortar, more killy. Right, no taking heavy losses to the mortar and the MG sniper joining in. Oh, Grenadiers quickly getting some nasty losses there. And further mines from Hayato HongKong. Probably sounded a bit offensive. Further veterancy though for Symbiosis. Riflemen, oh, BAR's up, but getting absolutely shattered by the armored cars. Though more M10s are arriving from Wehrmachters and the anti-tank guns, plus a half-track. A recon run. And some, of course, might be wondering what's going on here. I mean, it wasn't uncommon actually for the Allies to use aircraft to spot for the artillery, but that's what's happening here. He's using basically an aircraft to act as a spotting plane for him, and basically just calling artillery. I mean, that's pretty damn good coordination. That's coordination like I rarely see it. I mean, usually you don't get the sort of, okay, calling a reconnaissance run. You, on the other hand, calling artillery. I mean, that's pretty damn clever. So, I mean, we're clearly also dealing with some pretty clever buggers on the other side. I'd certainly recommend that, perhaps for, you know, for American commanders or allies in general, you know. Oh, Pack gets recruit, but oh, the Volks guns get sniped. That means no infantry at all for Symbiosis. Armored cars are heavily damaged. Pack knocked out. Nebelwerfer ready, but he's going to need infantry or something. The advance continues. Medic bunker has so far yet been able to pick up a single wounded fellow. MP40s for these chaps. 3 snipers from Wehrmachters. That's just going to tear through the support units. Oh dear. Could be a pretty nasty push by the Allies right here. 20th Infantry Division carrying on. Mines hit though. Panzer Lehr is in a bit of trouble. They need to get out some panzers or some panzer grenadiers, something like that, some infantry. Something can kill. And oh dear, another spotter plane. We'll be seeing artillery. Apparently not in this case, but one would imagine they might have some observation posts up. Yes, indeed. Check that way, get some more munitions for all that they're getting. And medic station already managed to supply one full infantry team. Oh dear, MG down. Grenadiers getting sniped. Another Nebelwerfer on the way. And a more solid American push, though, hitting some of all those rather extensively laid out minefields by Hayato HongKong. And they are a bit off at the moment, it seems like. The armored cars are quickly moving up to intercept what's going on there. But a new front needs to be laid down here, otherwise they're going to get their asses handed to them in a nice little paper basket. Nebelwerfers doing what they can to harass the advance of the Americans.
The Americans are capturing a sector.
But this is looking pretty grim. Second Nebelwerfer. Sturmgeschütz on the way. Panzer Commando on the way for Hayato HongKong as well. And there we go. Riflemen coming under pretty heavy fire. Oh, some pretty heavy losses to the armored cars. That could be a full rifleman team lost. Rangothemaster. And Volksgeist moving up against these riflemen. Oh dear, looks like the riflemen might be losing this one as well. In particular now the armored cars are joining in. A quick reversal there. Rangothemaster suffering some blows.
Cowards attack our forward base.
Still no wounded for the medic stations, but again that's probably due to a lack of infantry. But also due to the snipers who rarely actually leave wounded. They usually leave only killed people. That's sort of the nasty thing about them. Sturmgeschütz still on the way. What shall be on the way from the Panzer Command? And we'll be seeing any half-tanks with rockets mounted to them. First Stug out, needs to get veterancy, and there we go, immediately getting it. I mean, if you're getting armor as the Wehrmacht, and then it's pretty much obligatory that you get veterancy 1 for it, as that can really help with their survival, in particular the Stug, which actually has rather low health. I mean, it has half the health of a Panzer IV, which is not something actually very often here discussed. And a completely unupgraded Stug can actually be knocked out with 3 sticky bombs, so keep that in mind.
Veterancy gained.
But a bit of quiet. Let's speed this up a bit then. Shave a bit of time off here. Armor cars moving once in more. Panther has arrived. The Panzer Lehr now really deploying the best it has to offer against the Yankee foe. Rather than running into a bit of a problem, Panther leading the way against the M10s, the Wolverines. Still no wounded. I don't think these riflemen will make it home for dinner. Nope. So there we go. M10's quickly pulling back, not fancying that whole Panther on their own. Stug also moving up. 3 snipers again, 1. Different levels of veterancy so far. And the Stug is getting ganged up on. There's no support for it. That was less clever. And veterancy 2 on the way for support units. Increases the rate of fire and also makes them move faster, I believe, amongst other things, which is good to avoid counter-artillery fire. And I believe we're actually seeing a howitzer in the American base. Oh dear, this is going to be nasty. Heavy American push with M10s. Whermachters really giving it all, though. No Shermans. Panther holding up. Alright, though. Pioneers need to repair. Stug joining in. First M10 down. Stuka rockets firing in. Artillery against... Oh dear. Mortar down. Nebelwerfers pulling out. M10's actually pulling away. They could have won this if they just maneuvered, but instead we saw one flaw there in Wehrmachter's plan. He basically sort of lined them up as they were tanks, not as they were tank destroyers, and tried to use their maneuverability against the Panthers and Stug. That actually probably lost him this fight, as he also then pretty much lost his nerve and retreated. Plus, I suppose the fact that he's gone for airborne doesn't quite synergize with all those tank destroyers. In that case, he'd probably been better off like with And that episode 400 we saw with Allied War Machine, that's Armor Doctrine. But artillery continuing to range in. What interesting enough, we're not really seeing much else from Rangothemaster except artillery, considering in fact you could be getting off-map combat groups or rangers about now. Maybe soon. No further armor though for Hayato HongKong. It's actually time to have a look at him. I sort of forgot about him. My apologies. And a Flak 88 going to provide a bit of more backbone in case things get pushed away. Sure, the Allies can't push too far, but at the same time not too far ahead, so it's just going to be easily knocked out. That's a good idea actually. More artillery towards the center. M10's getting ready to move their way through that. Engineers getting hit. And a preparatory artillery barrage as they advance. Panzer Lehr flying. And Flak 88 just ready in the nick of time. Looks like Abwehr Kanone, but also quite good at any ground targets. Panther joining in. Stug doing what he can. Armor cars can't do much on the other hand. Dual Panzer Lehr on the Grenadiers. This is an absolute slug out fight. Now the M10s are trying, but the Flak 88 proves to be their foil alongside the Panther. Oh dear, two out of control right away. And as the Panther gloriously reports, the Yankee is kaput. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't mess with a Flak 88 without support. I mean, this is pretty much what, you know, sort of happened during North Africa. Germans pull back. Oh, what's this? Oh, a Flak 88, we're fucked. And then they were fucked, so jolly good there. Nice little tactic there, pulling back towards the Flak 88, revealing it only when it is too late. Very clever right there by Hayato HongKong. A big hand to him. He's clever, that's for sure. But let's return to Whermachter, who's gotten plenty more. Could also be getting airborne by now. Yes, indeed, but he suffered quite the blow. All those tank destroyers, I believe that might have probably been 4 or 5 down. That's not really good. A blow to the 20th Infantry Division and whatever armor battalion supported them. And now they're getting hammered by the artillery. The defensive positions again, the sort of lack of infantry really punishing them now. Again, you really need infantry, otherwise again, artillery, artillery, artillery. And looks like Symbiosis is also getting pretty close to the V1 rocket. But airborne forced away. More tank destroyers arriving. What about Mr. Rangothemaster? Nothing else, it seems like. No armor for him. Just supplied upgrades, although he does still have the medic station right there. And Wehrmachter still has the snipers. Stug's ready to support Symbiosis. And of course, jolly good job there by the Pioneers, basically running around, salvaging the munitions, although I think it might have been better if it was Symbiosis doing the munitions salvaging, unless of course they can share it. I'm not entirely sure if that actually gets shared. Otherwise, considering that, you know, Symbiosis, the one with the sword of terror and the Firestorms and the V1s, he might be better off with all those munitions. And just 3 kills to that Flak 88. A Sherman might actually help back then with a 50 caliber, and of course some infantry to support it. That's too late now. The Flak 88 stands supreme, and that might actually be basically the highest tide of the American advance. As again, they lost pretty much a lot there. And now they basically lost the initiative. They can't really push through. Rangothemaster lacking the infantry to really do that as well. And of course, Mr. Wehrmachter having placed most of resources into M10s basically means he can't really push forwards either. He's getting airborne now with recall his rifles, hoping to change it that way, which is... And they are basically less vulnerable to the Flak 88s. Of course, that could work, though do not underestimate the might of the Panzer or the Stug. In particular now that they've got veteran D2, meaning of course MGs, although Panther MG, not too good. Stug MG, pretty damn good. And more half-tacks, and that of course means more artillery, more rockets, more doom from above. Oh dear! I think someone got shot down. Yes indeed, crashing, oh dear, into the town! Oh dear, someone got a surprise for their baguette. Armor cars and artillery hitting the Americans, which was not actually quite uncommon. As the Americans weren't exactly known for being completely accurate, and there were several cases of either Americans or the Canadians or the Poles or the British getting hit by American artillery or aircraft. Panther moving forwards. Infantry moving forwards, also an interesting attempt. No real push there. I mean, if they really wanted to deal with this, they could try and sort of sneak up here and then hit the flank with enough airborne and infantry to really knock it out. Perhaps even take it for themselves, but I don't think they're quite intent on that. They might have again sort of basically figured, sort this, let's just drain them of victory points and hold the line here. Though again, they are going to need the Flak 88 out of commission, or at least take it, because again, that could give them an advantage. And quickly devastate all the Wehrmacht positions, who would not be prepared for Flak 88 suddenly appearing in their rear. Buff moving up here, but again, heavy fire from the Sturmgeschütz. The screen shaking from all the heavy firing that's going on. Pioneers trying to take the central victory point, or at least take it nukes. Oh dear, they won't survive. Rückzug, Männer. Just barely making it. I think another aircraft is moving in.
Enemy
Another
unit
recon
down.
run. In this case, it actually makes it. And again, using it for artillery purposes. Calling in artillery right here on the pack. This is quite excessive, but I suppose not quite uncommon for the actual Wehrmacht. Airborne charging in. Right into a nasty surprise of Panthers and armored cars.
Stand up, airborne. Rally on me.
Still no armor from Whermachters. Just more airborne it looks like. Let's go look at Rangothemaster. No armor himself, though both supplied upgrades, that's nice. He's not got a lot of infantry. In fact, most of his forces are anti-tank guns, and then there's the artillery gun with 2 kills. And of course, if Symbiosis has a V1, I mean, a good trick would actually be to rush in those armored cars and then call in a V1 on that artillery gun. And these airborne need to consider getting out of there. More heavy artillery fire raking the field. Rather than getting pushed away, the armored cars could be on that V1 patrol. Oh, running straight into a minefield. That. Oh no! Don't hit the other mine. Oh. Oh, that was bloody close. Lots of artillery. No attempt at calling in there. Oh dear, the Puma went down, but not to the mine. That was an anti-tank gun. Second Puma moving in. Tank destroyer trying to get it, but they missed. The anti-tank gun though gets off one good hit, but will it be enough? Will it be enough? It's within range, I think. Yes, indeed, the V1 rocket comes. From where, though, I have no idea. Little swatch from the safety behind all of these trees, and there we go. And that was a pretty huge chunk of the American base, including one base MG. More airborne dropping in. Oh dear, and another run here, another harassment run, but they never really make anything large out of it. They never try to sort of really launch an attack through the flank. And of course, although I suppose again, with remembering that Hayato HongKong has gone defense, of course he can spot things from a bit farther away thanks to his points. Another anti-tank gun gets knocked out. Half-track providing reinforcement point from the front. Oh dear, Sturmgeschütz down. He has gone for veterancy 3. Lovely, lovely. Another bunker going down for Hayato. Other bunkers have again gotten knocked out. Panzer Force joining in with the Panzer Lehr. And looks like a pioneer team went on to sacrifice themselves heroically as they got sniped. And more airborne rushing in. Lots of recoilless rifles now. All of this would make a great artillery target, and there we go. Lots of rockets. Hack getting sniped though. That's great. And the half-tracks are exposed. Oh dear. But a radius artillery barrage moving in from Hayato. Oh dear, some really good shots right there on the airborne. Knocking several down to just one man. That was a good prize right there. A very good prize right there. And More on the way from the Sturm Armory. Nothing on the way from the Panzer Command. Second Flak. And another aircraft. More artillery. Again spotting. Hitting the little wooden bridge. They're actually knocking it out, thus limiting the movement of the Wehrmacht. Well, I suppose it won't do a huge deal, but still. Oh, bunker again getting hit, thus limiting the repair abilities of Hayato. And there we go. That's a devastation. And what looks like a Sturmgewehr. No, an MG42, what remains of it being flung away as well. The Panzer Lehr holding up, but with rather extensive losses, though not as high as the Americans. Basically, both sides really at this moment really lack the forces to make a sort of heavy breakthrough. The closest one is basically Wehrmachters with all this airborne infantry. But he's lacking the armor to really push the assault. And Rangothemaster is, well, also lacking basically everything to really make an assault. He needs to use an off-map combat group. Get off some bloody more artillery. And let's go look at Symbiosis. And what is he up to? He's also got plenty of munitions lying around. And could be going, yes, for the King Tiger now. He's probably not far away. Could be going in the forced retreat. And there we go. Propaganda war. Ooh, that was pretty nasty. Looks like a heavy machine gun team went completely away. The medic station, interesting enough, is still standing. That's quite something. No further medic bunkers for the Axis. Oh dear, some other poor saps got blown up. Nebelwerfer for counter-artillery. Airborne doing what they can, but another registered artillery barrage forces them away. This is quite the artillery fight. And the Flak quickly gets decrewed. Less fortunate, but a forced retreat saves it. Stooks and Panzer Force holding the front. Will there be any further veterancy for the German Panzers of Hayato, HongKong? And artillery on the Flak. Again, lots and lots of artillery. Nothing right here on the flank. The flanks do seem to be undervalued. And looks like the center is largely up for grabs now. Not much holding it. Rather intense rocket bombardment has opened things up. Talk of knights cross shoulders, but there's not enough manpower. And more Sturmgeschütz on the way for Symbiosis. Sturks moving towards the center, covered by a hailstorm of rockets and death, while the airborne drop in the background. But one very heroic anti-tank gun saves the day, so the forces are quick to move forwards. And the Flak 88 is ready to fire once more. Slight flanking attempt right there. There's several anti-tank guns versus the Sturmgeschütz, armor-piercing rounds. Yeah, Sturm could be going down. Now they change targets. Oh dear. Oh dear. And then artillery right there on the Volksgarniers. They're moving forward. Sturm taking heavy damage. Will it get knocked out? No, it won't. The Volksgarniers instead move up. Begin clearing up that anti-tank gun. Armored push right here in Ostwind joining in to support Hayato, HongKong's armored push in the north. Good, good. And escalate to battle phase as well for Symbiosis. Could it be he's going for his own Panzer Command? Could it be? Could it be? Let's speed things up a bit. Just lots of artillery. Lots and lots, but looks like another armored push going in there. Stug armored car, Panzers. Rather than running right into a lot of nasty things, but the anti-tank gun, the one with barely any health left, somehow managed to push away the German forces once more. Airborne moving out on the flank, and Wehrmacht is just spamming out airborne with cordless rifles. They really seem to have given up on finesse, which is rather tragic. And again, Rangothemaster needs to get more than anti-tank guns and riflemen. At least get rangers or something, but basically all his anti-tank guns become easy prey for the artillery of the Germans. Well, of course, the Germans also at the same time, but they've of course learned from it. Now they're moving away, they're getting stuff that's more mobile, only leaving behind Flak to really prove to a larger problem. Otherwise, they have more mobile assets. Trouble is, the Axis, on the other hand, largely don't. They have some tanks, so of course, after the Flak 88s, they stopped. They need rangers, they need airborne, and they need to attack from here. They need a sort of proper push up here in the northern areas. Again, they need to sort of stop banging their head into a wall. Let's go have a look at Hayato HongKong, who's also now got access to the rocket barrage. Pack. Oh dear, that's wrecked. And not getting refunded. And looks like Nachtskreuz are actually now joining in. Ritterkreuz, the elite of the Panzer Lehr, and another recon followed up by artillery. Pretty nice thing still. But looks like nearly as much. Flak down. More artillery right here. Register and whatnot. Nachtskreuz also in the middle of everything, being forced away though. And certainly the panoramic view of incoming views is quite something else, though mostly now Duclair is, well, pretty scorched. And looks like the Allies are finally getting pushed back after having held the upper hand, but after those tank destroyers simply got evaporated by the Flak 88, things have simply turned against them. More airborne moving on, although in a slightly more spread out fashion. And another registered barrage right in the center.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
But the Americans are not giving up.
Losing ground.
But again, I do feel that Rangothemaster is pretty much the weak link in this fight. Simply too many anti-tank guns. I'm not entirely sure what he's even using half of his resources for anymore. I mean, he's just spamming out rifle and anti-tank guns. I mean, he's really showing a huge degree of inflexibility, which is not doing him any credit. I mean, he's not even trying with off-map combat groups. He needs to change tactics, he needs to change strategy, but he's not. I mean, the Germans have rather cleverly already sort of snuffed out his trick, but he's not changing. I mean, he's, at this stage, pretty much just wasting troops. Sad, but true. Looks like these Nachtskreuz run into a bit of an empty surprise. Let's return to Wehrmacht, who at least did some changing after realizing most of his tank destroyers wouldn't do him much good. Change to a more airborne heavy strategy, although he's keeping them mostly alive. And again, Rangothemaster, you are a disappointment. Oh dear, I think another went down. The anti-aircraft cover of the Germans at this stage simply being too heavy. Flaks and Ostwends, plus the occasional armored car. Simply too much. More artillery, and I believe Symbiosis actually got some Volkskanons of his own again. Fascinating. More counter battery fire against the German artillery positions. And certainly it was not at all uncommon for the Americans to really expend this much munitions. I mean, that's really how they got forwards. Their infantry wasn't that good. I mean, they rather relied on artillery, which actually led at some stages to basically them lacking artillery because they'd used so much. In particular, as the sort of war progressed and they got further and further into Western Europe, they didn't have the munitions to actually sort of keep it up. Because again, their supply routes were also getting long, and of course, they bombed all the infrastructure, so they couldn't really get it forwards either, so that led to some problems there, and some conservation. And these Knights Cross run into a lot of problems, but more Knights Cross are arriving. I'm not entirely sure the Panzer Lehr or most divisions will have had this many Knights Cross holders. Again, I'd rather prefer to see them as sort of veteran infantry, sort of combed into a special unit. Tearing through the riflemen, tearing through the anti-tank guns. Not much is holding up there anymore. German army here presenting a rather impenetrable wall. Panzer IVs, Stugs, Panthers, Ostwinds. This is pretty much the end for the 20th Infantry Division, despite the aid of the Screaming Eagles, tank destroyers and whatnot. This is the end, my friend. Partly again because Rangothemaster was pretty terrible at adapting. I think we can largely square it down to him. Without exaggerating. More artillery. Half tank on its own. Nice cross breaking through here. And another aircraft goes down. My goodness, is that the 4th or 5th? I don't think I've seen a game where this many aircraft went down in quite some time, but it's certainly quite fun watching. In particular this, as this is pretty much the last gasps before death from the Allied army. As the Knights Cross tear through them with glee. Mostly. Clearly the Americans are not quite willing to give up. But so the Germans aren't either. And this Panther has 19 infantry kills and 3 armored kills. Quite nasty. And this one with 17 infantry kills. 19 as well! One should certainly not underestimate the Panzer IV against infantry. But certainly not the Panther either. It looks like that was a poor rifleman on its own. Got knocked out. It looks like the only real force left for the Americans is Wehrmachter's airborne assault team. Rangothemaster has, well, bollocks left. And now the airborne are forced to fight most of the fighting against veterans with 3 vehicles, which actually gain a bonus protection against the Corliss rifles. So they're rather limited in their effectiveness. And a V1 rocket. I think that was just because he could do it. I don't think there was any purpose to it. And heavy machine gun team quickly getting killed up by Stugs. And again, pretty much a total collapse of the Allied forces. The 20th Infantry Division is pretty much buggered. Knights Cross getting sniped though. Maybe it could be going down.
Enemy unit down.
Yes, indeed. The Stugs, the Panzers, and the registered artillery. Oh dear, the losses, the losses. The airborne are getting utterly gutted. Not even the Stugs are threatened by this anymore. And Fraps acting. And let's try again, and there we go, much better for a second. Well, Well then, let's just stop here. I mean, Fraps is clearly not going to get any better, and this is pretty much the end anyways. I mean, the Americans are pretty much utterly and completely beaten. I mean, what can we learn from this? I mean, really the sort of major issue here was Rangothemaster. I mean, again, that's sort of the problem with 2 versus 2s partially. I mean, one player can really end up dragging everything down. And in this case, Rangothemaster's utter complete failure to really adapt to what was going on basically cost the Allies the match. I mean, who knows if he might have done better, of course, if he changed, but still, I mean, the fact that he kept on just throwing in riflemen and anti-tank guns, despite the fact the anti-tank guns would get sundered apart by rockets, did him absolutely no good. I mean, the Allies were pretty great in the start, but again, of course, the Germans adapted, changed their tactics, and completely whooped the American armies. And again, the Americans didn't really do much about it. And we saw some clever things like the Flak 88 in a nice ambush position, which actually managed to secure further kills. Bloody good. But still, I mean, you know, again, ambush position basically, they're not at the front, but sort of slightly behind, so they can't get it right away. And of course, lure them into it. Jolly good job there. Good use of bunkers, although I would have liked to see more infantry on their side. And again, Rangothemaster should have adapted, and these Wehrmachters should probably consider either, you know, telling Rangothemaster to get his ass act together, perhaps also getting some Shermans, but also another major issue is basically no real efforts here to sort of hit that Flak 88 properly, and no smoke either, which might also have been a help. But really, again, major issue here. One side adapted, the other one not quite as much, because again, one player simply didn't at all. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends, and if you did, well, why not send in a replay of your own. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.